Introduction to Willingness. Our goals during this session are to discuss the concept of willingness in the context of weight management, to learn what only if and even if responses are, learn to transform only if into even if responses, and learn how to form positive habits. What is willingness? Willingness is engaging in weight management behaviors even if it is challenging. It is the alternative to saying, I'm going to engage in these behaviors only if they are comfortable and easy. It's human nature to want to feel comfortable, but willingness helps us to accept and embrace discomfort. As someone with experience in the military, you may be familiar with this process, and applying it to physical fitness and nutrition can be a natural extension of that perseverance through adversity. Exercise is important for health, but is often accompanied by unpleasant psychological and physical sensations. Making choices about our nutrition is another place to practice willingness. As mentioned in the introduction, we live in an obesogenic society that pushes only if statements and makes it harder to make healthy food choices. Here are two examples of how we can transform our thoughts about making nutrition and physical activity changes into willing ones. An only if statement sounds like, I would be able to exercise after work only if I had the time and energy to do it. Alternatively, an even if statement is, I am going to exercise after work, even if I have to make time for it, and even if I am feeling tired. Another only if statement would be, I would be able to choose more nutritious snacks if my family didn't bring tempting food home. However, an even if statement would be, I will reach for the more nutritious option even if my family brings home tempting foods. What are three areas of your life where you notice yourself making only if statements? How can you transform them into even if responses? Take a minute to pause the video and think. Thank you for taking the time to reflect. Only if responses are a way that our brains try to limit our actions to stay in our comfort zones. Willingness is learning to take action while facing the discomfort, uncertainty, and negative assumptions our brain is making. To demonstrate this idea, let's watch a clip of how these limiting thoughts might sound about our ability to choose carrots over cake.
I'm going to try choosing carrots. You can't do it. You're too tired and stressed. You should just grab the cake instead. You don't want carrots. You want to eat something that's going to taste good. You deserve it. Maybe that's true. I could eat the carrots, but it would be easier to do it tomorrow when the cake isn't here.
As you can see, willingness is the extent to which you are willing to have whatever thoughts and feelings that you have and still engage in desired behaviors. The person in the first clip is not very willing to try in the face of doubt and discomfort. Let's see how it would look if they were more willing.
I'm going to try choosing carrots. You can't do it. You're too tired and stressed. You should just grab the cake instead. You don't want carrots. You want to do something that's going to taste good. You deserve it. I'm going to choose the carrots even if it's difficult for me, even if it may be less tasty, because I value my health long term and I know that I'm able.
As you can see, when we look at our decision making rationally, with belief in ourselves and a willingness to try in the face of doubt and discomfort, we can accomplish much more than we tell ourselves. In our next session, we will learn how habits can make willingness to act easier and more rewarding. Breaking old habits. Next, we will take a look at narrowness and flexibility, as well as pattern smashing. Breaking old habits that do not help your goals and values. These habits represent narrowness, or always responding the same way to the same thoughts, feelings, and situations. When we limit ourselves to narrow responses and are unwilling to experience thoughts, feelings, or sensations associated with different choices, this then restricts what we are able to do and our ability to make different choices. For example, if you're tired after work and you sit and watch TV every time. However, we can set new habits that serve our intentions. These habits honor flexibility, which is our ability to break bad habits and find new ways to respond to the same thoughts, feelings, and situations. For example, if you're tired after work, you stop yourself from watching TV and consider other options, like a walk or a healthy snack. Next, we'll cover pattern smashing, which is deliberately engaging in behaviors that run counter to our old patterns of behavior. Pattern smashing is critical for weight management because old patterns or habits were not working. Instead, we learn what habits are helpful, what triggers the habit, and how to replace it. And we can also provide healthy rewards for new habits. Let's look at some examples of what we can do after a long shift. An old pattern might be grabbing fast food on the way home, watching TV, making dinner, and playing video games. But a new pattern might look like packing an apple on the way home, going for a walk, making dinner, and choosing to watch TV or play a game as a healthy reward for these good habits. Setting good habits frees up your time and energy in your brain, and that time and energy can be spent on your goals. This lets you set bigger goals, maintain achieved goals, and set new ones. In our next video, we will learn how finding and honoring our values can make willingness to try easier and more rewarding.